Hi, episode 10 of Every Semicolon. We're in double-digit territory. It's super exciting. Okay, this is going to be a relatively quick episode. My plan is to do ballista stuff, get the ballista shot going. Yeah, this is going to be probably an hour or less, not much more. A couple of reasons. I don't think it'll take very long. And also I have somewhere I've got to be. Okay. Weapons ballista. Look at that. Okay, this dude is missing his cousin Catapult's fancy projectile trajectory script. So let's just drop that straight onto our prefab here in the project window. Okay. Yeah, so this is I'm actually pretty happy with how the series is going. I think the videos are getting better. It's starting to progress pretty well. The game itself. Alright, let's copy some of the settings from the catapult. 0.1, 0.4. What I'll also do is now, because these are probably going to be the settings for the most part, I'm going to jump into my projectile trajectory script and let's just set these up to what seem to be the right defaults. So my indicator graphics, let's grab that out of this one there and there. Cool. Alright, so here we go. Ballista. Looks like it's all ready to go. We need to come in here. I don't think I need that at all. Now what I'm going to do is delete this dude. This is catapult 3. Whoa. Must have hit a search shortcut. That freaked me out for a moment. I think that is linear lighting in action, perhaps. Linear space lighting. I don't think it normally looks like that when it does its transition. Strange. Alright, this catapult is going to go 130, 180. In its place, all this ballista is to reset position, apply that. I might delete that. Come on for a sec. So catapult 3, 130Z, 180Y rotation. Ballista, which is ballista. We'll put 3 there just so we know which one it is. 130, 180. Okay. So now we have a ballista in there. So my idea is to use the standard sort of weapons, use the same thing here. Obviously shot power is different for the ballista, so I need to change the spacing accordingly, and the spawn point for the projectile is wrong. So as I move this up and down, what I'll be doing is changing that x-axis angle variable in one of the scripts, which maybe will be the thing I reference. I think is it weapon script. If it isn't, it probably should be. Yeah, weapon script. So this is the angle that I'll be changing, and or is that accurate? I'm actually changing the shoot power range, which is fair enough. So I'm also going to need a tilt. Okay, so catapult you're changing the power. Ballista, changing the tilt. I want to change power as well. So the mechanical B, let's have a think about it for a sec. You're in this sort of perspective, probably more like very more centered on the ballista itself, perhaps. And say it's on an iPad or even on the PC, probably have a little some sort of little buttony graphic thing here you can press, tap and hold, click and hold, and pull that back and move it up and down, and that'll determine direction and power. So currently I've got this little temporary thing which is determining power. So let me put in another one for now which determines the angle. Yeah, I think I'll probably have to get rid of this next episode and actually put in something good, because it's getting to the point where that thing's just ridiculous and it's really missing out on the point of the game, which is, pull back and shoot, or with the catapult, for example, pull down and release. I think that's going to be very important. Feel, obviously that's the Angry Birds thing, pull back on a slingshot and shoot. I have to reference Angry Birds every episode for some reason. Every time I say it, it makes me die a little inside, because I really don't want people to think I'm just ripping off that game, but I mean, fair enough, there is inspiration drawn. Right, so let's make a second power thing. So we're going to get a weapon, and we're going to have a, come on, there's going to be a very short video where I'm going to probably off camera just go in here and try and figure out what is going on. I'm guessing it's got to have to be something to do with this project, right? There's like something in this project that makes it think it's a different type, like it's not C# or something. I mean, it's just, for some reason this stuff isn't working, and it's extremely frustrating. Every other project on my computer, every other Unity project I have, I load up Visual Studio, no shortcuts work a treat, except for this one. So yeah, figuring that out will be a challenge. Maybe it's something to do with the recording, actually. Maybe it's something to do with the recording messes up that shortcut. I'll have a look at the hotkeys for the recording software and see if that is doing anything. So, alright, need a bool. Quick game's good game. Need a bool. Need a bool for my weapon to determine whether or not I can change the angle. Right. So we have a vector 2 here to determine the range. And above that, put my can change angle equals false by default. I think for the majority of weapons it won't be possible. Cannons, if cannons are a thing we do, which probably will, they'll allow it. And obviously the ballista, trebuchet, and catapult, I don't think so. Let's stick with the script. Where are we doing this stuff currently? Is there a GUI? Nope. Where am I drawing that stuff? Must be. There's a problem with having this sort of month gap between videos. I've forgotten a lot of where some of the code is, which is also an issue because it's now highlighting. Obviously I haven't done a lot of commenting in this video series, just for the fact that I enjoy not commenting a lot of the time, You know, I'm not the biggest, you know, I don't do a lot of test-driven development and that sort of thing. And I definitely see the benefits, and I probably will do it more so in the future. And depending on the project, you know, it's valid or not. But yeah, especially for this video series, I don't really want to. Something like that is boring. You know, it's boring. Watching me write code, I think, could be boring. And you know, and this great guy in the YouTube comments. Just give me 2 seconds to look it up. Fatal 510. Hi and welcome to. Whoa, jeez. Fatal 510 mentions that he enjoys. So I mentioned last time that some of the code stuff I was doing would have been pretty boring. And you know, and he mentioned that, you know, he likes the quote-unquote boring bits because, you know, I for whatever reason, but I mean, it's exactly sort of what I was sort of doing with this series is, you know, showing everything. Look at this. This is strange, isn't it? I'm not 10 and 50. I'm not even using my range. In fact, let's have a look and see if it's even used. Shot force equals blurb 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 blurb. Isn't that weird? That's very strange. If this is, wouldn't that make my trajectory indicators be wrong? I didn't notice them being wrong. They look like they were fine. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I've just done something wrong, and I'll find that out soon enough. Ah. Okay. This is it's funny. Rect is that shot force 0 to 1. Alright. Never mind. Forget I said anything. That was just silly. So, alright. In that case, that, but in this case, I want to do it like this. Yeah, so I mean, the point of this video series is to, you know, show everything, and you know, unfortunately, there's going to be parts that bore people. But I think, you know, to appreciate the series as a whole, you need everything in there. You need to show, you know, all aspects of development, not just the cool, interesting, fun bits. This isn't a, you know, fancy developer diary or something. This is me making a game. Screen space position. Blah blah blah. Selection transform position. Say. Let's just shift it across to 10. Shift it across 20. And have a look at that. Nope. Ballista. Select. Ballista. Select the thing. Prefab. Tick that. Alright. Whip back around to this guy. Okay. So straight on, 25 degrees, straight 25 degrees, and so forth. Cool. Okay, now we need to make some more tweaks to our ballista. Let's just modify this guy in here. Bullet creation point. Ref node bullet creation point is way up there, but as we know, and I need to also make a note in a future video very soon because it's killing me not to have it. I need to put a copy and paste local and world transform position thing in here, either as a custom inspector or a custom inspector adding options to that there. So bolt anchor. Quickest way to do this is, yeah, let's just grab ballista. Do I want to break? No, it's not going to break anything. Just do it. What's the harm? So I've parented it to that, and I'm just going to reset it, which then puts it the same. I drag it back out to ref nodes, and now it's in the same position. So that's a sort of quick and dirty way of copying and pasting sort of thing. A position, and now that's going to be a bit closer to what we're after for a starting position. Right. Okay. Phew. That's interesting. That seemed to go... it did actually go straight through. That's sort of what I'm after with the ballista, maybe not that intense. Let's have a look at the boulder. Discrete. Alright, we're going to make a new bullet called the ballista... Whoa, caps lock. The ballista bolt. We're doing time. 16 minutes, 40 seconds. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Ballista bolt, throw that in there. Time seems to fly by at the start of these videos, I've noticed. I think I just ramble on for a while at the start. Which, when you're watching these in the, I do the playlist, probably a bit annoying every time hearing me say, hi and welcome to blah 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 blah. The same stuff you've seen a few moments ago. And we talk about the same things I've talked about at the start of every episode, probably. But deal with it. Sphere gone. Okay, that's cool. Graphics, ballista bolt. You want to say deal with it? I mean that in a nice way. It was quite rude. And I apologise. I think I'm going to have to take into account the velocity of the bullet when I do my camera tracking, because at the moment it's catching up to the boulder, which flies slowly. But man, it's not going to catch up to this ballista bolt if I shoot it as fast as I was just then. We need some collision physics. We'll just put a mesh collider, convex mesh collider on there for now. See how that goes. Now I'm going to change this to continuous dynamic detection, because it's going to be going very fast. Discrete is fine for slow moving objects, but I'm putting it onto continuous collision detection because it's going to be fast. It is very long, so it's probably not as important, but basically the idea behind that is with collision detection, let's just duplicate this for a sec. Let's say in one frame it was here, and the next frame it was in here. It can determine, hey, there's a collision there because they're intersecting. But let's say one frame it's here, and then the next frame it's here, because it's going so fast, it's moving at 10 meters a second or something, so it's going from here over to here in one frame. It never is sitting inside it, never intersecting it in a frame. In discrete collision detection, that won't be picked up, so it'll just go straight through it without ever hitting it, like it's the Flash walking through a wall or something. I don't know if that's a thing. I'm not comic booky enough, but let's pretend it is. That's how fast he is. I think it might be. Anyway, continuous collision detection takes that into account. It'll check pretty much like the path from the previous point to the current point and see if there's an intersection there. So that is why, in this case, with our fast-moving ballista bolt, we are using continuous collision detection. Next thing of note will be I want to probably put in a center of mass indicator in here. So let's go to our bullet, drop in public vector 3 center of mass equals vector 3.0. Okay. Okay. And I might also public bool set center of mass. Might as well add in a require component up here just because I wasn't going to bother with any sort of error handling in case there is no rigid body. That would be a null reference, null reference exception, blah blah blah. So yeah, this way I don't have to worry about null reference exception because I'm just saying requires component rigid body, which is cool because all my bullets will already have the rigid body component on there. So for this one, I'm going to set the center of mass. And let's actually change this to, because I'm too lazy to tweak. Actually, no, that's fine. Let's on draw gizmos selected. And the center of mass is, what space is that in? Center mass blah 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 blah. Relative to the transform position rotation, not reflect the transform scale. Fair enough. Okay, so if set center of mass, I'm going to draw a little gizmo. Where my center of mass is, just so I can get it looking right. So if it's local space, the gizmos will be in world space. So transform the center of mass vector 3. I don't really want it to be 1 meter or anything, so let's go 0.15. That seems like a fantastic random number. Okay. I can't see anything. Whoop. Draw sphere, is it set center of mass? It's true. On draw gizmos selected. Is that all written correctly? No. On draw gizmos selected is not a thing, in case you're wondering. Alright, I'm gonna put the center of mass just up the front here. So what my intention with that is, what I'm thinking is that I'm going to shoot it straight. I want it to sort of be weighted in the metal part like you'd expect a ballista bolt to be, and that's sort of the part I want to. I don't think I won't actually make these stick into the ground, right? That's going to be important now I think about it. These will need to stick into the ground at some point. I'll have to do that in a later video, but I want this to be the thing that hits things. I don't really want it flipping around in the air and the wood hitting stuff, so that's not really the way to go. Okay, let's apply that, and I'll change the mass to 5 or 2. The other one's 10 at the moment, Yep. Cool. Delete that. Go to our ballista. Change its bullet prefab from boulder to ballista bolt. And watch the magic happen. Or something. Hopefully it's something resembling magic. Pretty keen for that. Phew. Whoa. You can see what I mean. I think center of mass eventually. It's still wobbling, but it's not spinning out of control or anything, so that's cool. How do we do? Man, it is extremely fast. It's kind of the moral to the story of that game session. What are we looking at with the catapult? Force of 20 and 50. So if we go 30 and 60, what does that do for us? And we have our trajectory indication here, which is cool. So it tells us what to expect. Yeah, I mean that's probably not too bad. Crash. Yeah, I'm looking for it to do a bit more damage than that. So how about 40, 80, 50, 80. What's this? This is power. So let's go all the way, full power. Yeah, that looks like it might be okay. And then low power is what? Yeah, it drops off a fair bit, but you can sort of arc it up and shoot it down. I'll have to fix up this trajectory stuff too. Oh, there's what I was sort of referring to with in the last video, but anyway, don't worry about that for now. Boom. Smash. Nice. There's our ballista bolt. So I could either make them stick into the ground or have them disappear. Having them stick around would be pretty cool, but ultimately it might depend on things like what I've got little leprechauns running around. I don't really want them running through the ballista bolt. So we'll see what happens. So this is meant to be more for, I guess, precision strikes. So go back to the game, have a top-down view. I'm like, oh yeah, so let's aim up with the treasure chest and come down here, and alright, so I want to just get it right about there. Fire! So that's sort of the greatest shot ever made, I guess, is one way of putting it. No, so that's looking alright. And if we just, well, one way of quickly changing the time scale, go to the time settings, drop time scale down to say 0.01 for a sec, so I can fire, and you can see that it's instantiated from where you expect it to be. Still stepping along some sort of physics time step. Goes along our line and blam. Spins around a bit, settles, hangs there because that's the heavy point. Yeah, okay, that might be a bit too, well, I mean, if I make it stick, that might look okay. Got the sharp part sticking to the ground. Like seen in Overgrowth does that with their weapon stuff. He's built the I believe a texture to define the metal sections of the model, swords and knives and that sort of thing, to determine where they stick into the ground and probably how they cut, I believe. Speaking of other games, other stuff, my friend Sean Edwards, his game Lunar Flight just came out on Steam today, so that's really awesome. It's really awesome sim game in the vein of sort of Lunar Lander, but 3D, fly around the moon, do missions. It's pretty hardcore, but you know, it's actually not that hard once you get used to it. I had a bit of trouble, and I worked on the game a little bit for him. I didn't actually do anything in the gameplay side, but worked on some leaderboard stuff, and so I'm in the credits, which is cool. There's a couple of games on Steam now I'm in the credits for, which is always nice. But yeah, I mean he's done a great job. It's available in other places too, but you know, Steam now, so that's fantastic, and you know, check it out. So that's the ballista, shooting a bolt. Got the trajectory stuff in there. The main thing we need to do now is, once I think Shane's working on getting the dwarf done first, and then he'll get on to getting this ballista being able to articulate. So that'll be awesome. Get this thing tilting up and down based on that X angle. But what I'll probably have is plan is to get Shane to separate this head as a sub-object. I'm not sure what we're going to do about this part. Shane probably has something in mind. And I'll just have two rotations, one for the 25 degrees, or even I'll have him export it straight, and then I'll actually use the angles. So I'll base the max angle on basically what this angle is, so the maximum extent of the articulation of this arm will be the maximum angle for the gameplay purposes of shooting the ballista bolt. And what I'll do is I'll just interpolate, or spherically interpolate, the rotation between those two angles based on the x-axis angle. And then there's also going to be the power. So there'll be, as I talked about previously, there'll be the ropes attached to these parts, which I'll probably do in a video pretty soon. Just for something different. I like to do a few techie things here and there, like, you know, grass shader and trajectory stuff, you know, just to shake it up a bit. And then there'll be an animation, most likely an animation of maybe just a couple of frames, one of the extents of this bending arm, whatever you call it, and then I'll just set the time of the animation to, or the weight. Either way, probably time. Have the weight at 1, set the time between sort of 0 and 1, normalized time for the animation to get it to bend between the two extents based on the power slider. Okay, so here's our little test fortress. It'll probably be our test fortress for a while, I'd say. Still not too sure about haven't really talked to Shane about the blocks and how they're going to fracture and that sort of stuff yet. Still just sort of getting concepts worked out in my head about this game, and by working through it, gameplay wise, I'd rather design it based on what feels right in the game rather than up front, because I sort of have that luxury. It's not really a massive game, and creating all the art will take a while, so I don't want to really waste Shane's time on doing something that doesn't turn out to be any good. So okay, short video, that's good. Ballista bolt shoots. So yeah, I think next video I'll probably want to get on to doing this sort of pull back, up and down shooting stuff. I might even put in the other two weapons as placeholders, a trebuchet and a cannon, just to get that in there and be able to start trying to play the game a little bit and see how it feels. I think it's really going to help when we've got some more stuff in there, like the rock platform moving up and down, stuff like that, and you know, for harder difficulty stuff. So you have to time your shots as well as you know, pick the right ones. And obviously at the moment you just have to shoot the middle, which is all about shooting the middle. So we want to build up some stuff, you know, levels where you want to come in at different angles, and might even do some stuff with orbiting islands. That might be kind of cool. So it might be frustrating too, but late level gameplay can be a little bit frustrating, so that's alright. I really wish some of these, like something like that, would be the screenshot in YouTube rather than what it always is, which is something like this. There's my YouTube screenshot. I just did it just then. Okay, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll do more videos definitely over the coming days. I'm really excited to keep going on this, and yeah, thanks for the feedback. I've had a lot of great feedback recently, and yeah, I'm looking forward to to doing more videos. Pretty much, I just want to get this game done, but in a good way. Gotta get rid of this skybox too. Any suggestions on the skybox would be a good idea for feedback, because I don't, off the top of my head, I have no idea what to do. I want clouds in the foreground in the game, clouds like this, but better looking. But still, we need a skybox, right? We need something going on in the background. Having clouds like that and then clouds like this doesn't really work. Do we want to be in the clouds and have nothing above? Is it just going to be blue sky above? And that could work fine. Yeah, and then maybe nighttime stuff, so you have stars and things like that. Bright sun shafts maybe. Yeah, I mean, I'm open to suggestion on that. That's actually something I'm really interested in. Just the art style in general, and any thoughts you have on color scheme, weapon types, block types, what the dude should be doing. I'm just gonna have a sort of a fun sort of vibe. Dwarves will be, working away here and doing stuff and kicking things and generally being crazy dwarves, and the leprechauns will be little annoying leprechauns, and they'll be running around doing stupid stuff and they mooning you or something from their castle, being generally just annoying dwarves. No, leprechauns, that's it. Nobody likes leprechauns. I'm pretty sure that's a global truth. Alright, rambling, so I'll see you again in episode 11. Definitely in the double digits now. We're well into it. One episode in. That's well into it. Progressing good on the hours too, so this will take it to, I think, over 16 hours, so it's a couple of days worth in the working world, but you and I know that this is a lot more than 2 days work for someone like me who's extremely lazy. This would take me about 3 years to make at a day job, because I spend 99% of my time just talking. Anyway, I'll see you in the YouTube comments, Unity Forum, southeastgames.com, gamedev.net journals, and try out Lunar Flight, Sean Edwards' game. It's really cool, and got some really great reviews so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing it being a really good seller on Steam. Thanks.